Okay, right, welcome to my little talk through on Kettering then, for your driving test. Where to start? Okay, so we've got the map up of Kettering here, and where do the tests go? Well, right around the middle of town, excuse my hand coming in here, you will visit either the centre of the town. As far as they go all the way up here to Warkton, Weekly, and around the A43 area here, A14 around this area, as far as Burton Latimer down the bottom. Also, I've had tests go out to Pytchley, Broughton, where's the other place they visited? Allingbury, which I'll just have to scroll down a little bit, and Isham down the bottom. Nothing particularly difficult round there, so if you're visiting those areas, I wouldn't really be too concerned about the villages themselves. Just take them with some care if you do go that way on your test. What we're going to look at is where people struggle the most on their tests, things that are a little bit more area specific to Kettering. The test centre itself is just down here at the bottom near the A509 junction. You come out and you can either go off into town. The main roundabout here down the bottom is quite busy. It's quite easy to pull out in front of people. And then what we're going to look at first is what I think one of the most confusing areas if you were to go that way on your test, which is to come out to the big roundabout over the A14, run along the A14 for a couple of junctions, and then follow the signs for Corby and Stamford A43 to come off here, and then turn right at this roundabout, third exit back into Kettering. This bit can be very confusing. One thing to note, that this section of the A14 is 3 lanes wide, so it's important, two things. One, to make sure that you are keeping as left as possible, as you should be anyway. No problem with overtaking. Make sure though that you don't undertake. So coming along this section, particularly a lot of the truck drivers will run along here and go, well, I know that up here it goes back to 2 lanes again, and the left lane turns into the A43 exit, and so I'll stay in the middle. It's really important that if your left lane is clear and you're travelling in it and there's lorries in the middle lane, you've got clear ahead. Do not pass the lorries on the left, because you'll fail for undertaking. When you get to this junction up here, the A14, A43 junction, you'll be following signs for Corby and Stamford. So yeah, here's your test centre. Here's the test centre here, this bit of tarmac. So you run out along the industrial estate and up round these roundabouts here, and along the section. I think it's still, Google Earth still shows it as 2 lanes. So you carry on for 2 junctions, and you come up to the Corby and Stamford A43 roundabout. The examiners pre-warn you to look at the signs and the road markings. Now, the sign shows your A43 as a right, but your road markings down here, the left and the middle lanes, show A43 on them, and there's also another sign on the approach telling you that. Reason for that is, well, there's an exit for the farm. You rejoin the A14 on this slip road, and so the A43 is the first real exit. The right-hand lane takes you around either to the industrial estate here or back into Kettering this way. So it's important, if when you come up here, to make sure that you get into either the left or the middle lane. if you do end up in the right lane, you sort of see the signs and go, oh, right lane, and then you realise later on, just be careful. If you are able to move left again, it's just common sense really, if you're able to move left, mirror signal if you can, but don't jump. What the problem I've had here is that people panic and suddenly swerve a lane, and of course that could be a massive crash if they've got someone next to them. So as long as you swap your lanes if you can when it's safe with checking, you're alright and you can carry on round. If it's not safe, then stay in your lane and just carry on round and go the wrong way. You will not fail your test for not going where the examiner asks you, but you will fail it if you try and go the way they asked you to go from a lane that doesn't let you. What's that? You can go the wrong way right, but you can't go the right way wrong. So yeah, then making sure when you go around going around here that you stay in your lane and don't cut the lane. It's really easy just to nip over the lane and cut someone up, and then you go off down the A43. So once you've got that bit, it's really just the slip road that's the hardest bit really. If you do the slip road right, then the rest of it is pretty simple. It takes you along the dual carriageway for about a mile, and then you'd be asked to turn right third exit at this roundabout for Kettering. This catches a lot of people out. You come along, standard right hand lane for the dual carriageway. It's traffic light controlled, so you're through the first set of lights, another set of lights up here on this area. This bit, one lane wide, but then the next bit you go to is 4 lanes wide. You've got 2 lanes to exit into Kettering, and 2 lanes to carry on. To exit into Kettering, and 2 lanes to carry on round back onto the A43. So it's very, very confusing for most people. So I've brought. Let's bring up where it is. So this is the screenshot from just by the traffic lights where it's 1 lane wide going to the 4 lane bit, and you'll see a little line going out here. So that's your guidance line, and you're trying to put the car out in either the outside lane or just in. This guidance line takes you to if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 from outside to inside, takes you to lane 2. If you cut it, you can always go back round the roundabout. There's a lot of people on lessons try and go bang straight round with the curb. It's not the curb that you want to follow, it's this line up here. So you're trying to bring the car, if I just scroll forward on the Google map now, you see that you want to go out and out, almost as if you're going to the exit here, the second one, but you actually want to put the car out where that red car is and go around to end up where the white one is, or in the lane next to it, because both of these lanes let you take the exit. And your main thing then is to make sure that you merge safely as you carry on around the roundabout. Let's put it over here, and as you carry on round, you can see you've got 2 left lanes and they merge coming around here. So as long as you check and merge in, it's fine. Again, really easy to be quite nervous and maybe end up crossing the lane before you've checked your mirrors, which is an instant fail. You can't get away with that, and quite rightly so. And then you'll go along and up. Every test I've had that's gone that way has then gone up round a housing estate, done a manoeuvre around there, and then carried on around town. But those 2 roundabouts, possibly the most confusing, bar what's next, the double roundabout. So right in the middle of town, let's go back to the map. Right in the middle here, you've got just under the Kettering sign, you've got a double roundabout, and it looks like this from coming down the hill. It's not too difficult in some ways. It's a bit intimidating, but if you're coming from, let's zoom in on it here so you can see it. So this is it here. So if you're coming down where my cursor's going, so this is down a steep hill, come along. If you're turning right, it's pretty, just the same as normal. If you're turning right, go in the right hand lane. Turning left or straight, go in the left hand lane. So right hand lane, left hand lane, just like normal. You'll go around the outside. Excuse me. And off down here, and then turning right, you'll be going in effect right on the first one and straight on the second one. So to be honest, that's not too bad. Excuse me, typically I get a cough. So you can see that here. Although it's got a straight arrow in the right hand lane, don't use it, because if you're going to go straight ahead, you would have to swap lanes, which, when you're going around that tight roundabout, you've got enough to do. So yeah, you come along down here, and this is it. So you can see the lanes quite clearly marked to go around. You stay in the right hand one to go right, to then go straight ahead, where the blue car is, and that would be directed towards a hospital. This set way is straight ahead, which is towards Northampton and Broughton. More difficult is coming back from under that bridge, just over here. Where people struggle on this one, coming back, is cutting the lanes by accident. So as you come under the bridge, on some tests you'll go along, you'll be asked to turn left towards Wadcroft parking. I think they ask you to follow, which is nice and simple, just standard left turn. If you're going straight to town centre, that's the one that people trip up. If you're going right towards the train station, then you want this right hand lane here. When you are in the position that the black car's in, the lanes look a little bit confusing. They actually, the lanes point where you end up stopping here, if you, or as you're coming up, points the car at the inside of the roundabout, and you can just see some little lane guidelines around. So you've got to remember, if you're following town centre, this would be straight ahead, that you need to come in, and you've got a lane on your right, and that you need to drive around the outside. And yeah, it is so easy to miss that, cut the lane, instant fail. And again, quite rightly so, because you've shown the examiner that you don't know that you're about to potentially have an accident. So you've got to make sure that you sweep round the outside, and then the other thing is that you come through a lane. See if we can move the car up to in between the roundabouts. I want to be open by that white van if I can get there. So we can see here that actually the silver car doing exactly what you don't want to do in your test, going from the right hand lane over to the left. Now again, if you did that, as long as you did that with a mirror check and a signal, no problem. But it's more the fact that if you'd have had to begin in the right hand most lane to have done that. If you've gone from the middle lane, cut across and then checked, it's not that bit that's the issue, it's the cut across at the beginning. But yeah, you see the left lane here, and it's important to make sure that it's not just a free lane. If someone's coming around the roundabout, so you need to make sure that you realise that you need to look to the right just in case someone's coming. So that's where people struggle a lot on this one. So that's heading from Northampton back towards the town centre. The other way that's confusing is sort of coming in the direction where these cars are now. So you'll be coming, I've started back just past Morrison's petrol station. So you're coming along. To go straight ahead in this one, the examiners will tell you, or certainly they have on the test that I've had go this way, they will tell you that you need the right hand lane to go straight ahead because the markings are very, very late. So in the instances where the road markings perhaps could be better, and they feel that it, it would be better, sometimes they'll give you a little bit of help. So you need the right hand lane to go straight ahead, and we're just carrying along here, so you again check and make sure it's safe, and you end up where this blue van is here, but you're going up here, so you're actually going very slightly left. So if we follow that route along, whoops, flipping it around, let's see if we can find a little X on the floor anywhere. There, right, so we come across, and the white swaps it round, and we're following that BMW up this road. So we're going to, sorry, not BMW, we're going to carry on up this road here towards the train station. So this direction, you're following the train station. You get to the end of the road, to a T-junction, nothing special there, and you'll be asked to turn left, because right, as you can see there, is the train station, and you come out here, and almost immediately, I'll put the car on this X, there we go, almost instantly you're presented with no entry. So you need to turn right, but don't forget that it's still a side road, and if someone's coming down the road towards you, you need to give way to them. So there are two bits like this in Kettering. This one right by the station, and then there's another one in Burton Latimer, which I will show you in a minute. Both of them, it's quite easy to forget, and perhaps under the stress of the test, that although you have no choice but to turn right, you don't have the priority. If there's someone coming the other way, you've got to just stop like a normal right turn and wait for the road to be clear. Worth a note here that Kettering is quite hilly compared to, say, if you've been driving around Cambridge or around Peterborough. Well, Kettering's got a lot more hills to it. So up this road, for instance, quite steep, and you're carrying up in by that parked car, it gets a lot narrower. So you start by thinking, oh, that's easy, I can deal with any traffic. It gets a bit more difficult. Okay, so we've covered the double roundabout, and we've covered that main A43 one. So other bits that you want to be careful of is using one-way roads, making sure, for instance, in the area near the double roundabout, this would be heading up this road, Meadow Road, towards Wadcroft Parking. You go up round the corner, and it turns into a one-way road around the bend. So when you get to the end of the road to turn to Trafalgar Road here, if I bring that, I'll put that in here. When you get to the end of the road, I think we need to be pointing the other way. Yeah, you get to the end of the road, look, it's left lane for left, right lane for right. Now, again, important to note, should you muck it up and end up in the left-hand lane, even if you've approached it indicating right, if you realise and you check and there's cars beside you and you cannot move to the right, then just stay in your lane, swap your indicator to the left, and come out. Just say to the examiner, I've got in the wrong lane, never mind, we'll have to go left. If you turn left out of here, they'll redirect you, it's not a problem at all. But if you turn right from the left lane, you'll fail for disobeying the road markings. So yeah, just really important, don't panic, stay in your lane, and just take it, just go the way the lane says. Okay, so going back out to Kettering then, you've got, we've covered some of those bigger roundabouts. The other one to note is if you come from the test centre and go towards Burton Latimer, there's some lanes there. Some of the roundabouts do have guidance signs that will tell you that you need to be in a different lane to normal. This is one of them. So if I bring up this slip road, I haven't quite got that right. Yeah. Go back a bit. Let's see if I can put the car up here. There we go. There we go. So for example, this is slightly old now. You've got a sign. I'll come back slightly. So you've got signs you'd be asked to follow. Now, if you came this way, you'd be asked to follow signs, possibly for Bedford. It's quite common. Sometimes Burton Latimer as well. So you can see on the left here, you've got your sign allocating your lanes for Kettering and other routes. But then as you get further up, you get another lane allocation sign, which I jumped. Right, let's swap round, go back. There, so that sign is there. Hopefully you can see it this time. Here we go. So you've got your lanes reallocated to, well, still your left one's still for Kettering, then middle one Bedford A6. So unusual to be turning right at the roundabout, which the previous sign showed, but from the middle lane. Now, this is the old road markings, which were wrong, because they had the lanes splitting in the middle. So what everybody used to end up in the Burton Latimer lane anyway, and then figure it out on the roundabout, which never caused any problems. But now the lanes are marked better, so it's just this lane that splits open. Again, if you end up in the right hand lane, don't worry about it, as long as you can safely check, because there's signs all the way around the roundabout that guide you. So you've got plenty of time going around here, if I can find one of them. There we go, a little bit further around. So you've got, as you come around the corner, you've got plenty of time here for the to notice the signs, to see the road markings, to get the car out. It's not never been an issue if I've had someone do that in the test. Coming from a different direction, so if I take you back to the map so you can see where you are. Okay, that didn't work. Back to map. If you're coming from Burton Latimer and heading back in towards Kettering, for example, you will run different lanes to normal. So you'd be asked to follow signs for Kettering. You can just see on the left it says A14 West for the left lane. If I can move it forward, maybe that'll be clearer. So the left lane's A14 West only, right lane other routes. So you have to come up here and make sure that you take the right hand lane. Again, if you put if you end up in the left lane, just go left down the A14. But with this one, you then would start in the right hand lane and move on to the roundabout, and pretty much immediately you'd be out on the left hand lane for Kettering. Again, if you go into the right initially, you've got plenty of time to swap over. And if it, if push comes to shove, if a load of people come around the outside of you, don't panic and try and swap lanes, cutting people up. Just go round the roundabout in a complete circle and have another go on the next lap. Again, regular thing I've had. I think I've had 4 people now have to do a complete lap of a roundabout. Not necessarily this one, but some of the others as well, where they've maybe been a bit late moving the car over, to the left side for the exit, and they've gone, not happy, don't want to make that person brake, I'll go round again. Never been a problem. In fact, on at least 2 of those occasions the examiner has said, well done, really good choice. So you know, you're showing the examiner that you feel it's not safe to do it, so you're not going to do it. Okay, let's find this bit in Burton Latimer then with the no entry. So Burton Latimer going down into the main High Street part. The easiest way to do it, the bit of it is where Bridle Road meets Regent Street here. So you come. So it's the easiest thing for you to do if you're coming in this way is to go down the High Street and follow this all the way along and go down, you know, in Findon Road, and then up and back in along Queensway. Quite a lot of the tests visit Burton Latimer, so it's worth having a drive round here. You've got quite a lot of junctions where there's parked cars right up to the edges, so it's worth having a little drive round these side roads, because, and through the High Street, you've also got a 20-mile-an-hour section through the main High Street part. So there's a good number of my tests visit Burton Latimer, as well as visiting Kettering. They might go out, start in here, or they might end there. We'll be there towards the end of the test, and then going back to the test centre from there. So yeah, if I come into this bit, Queensway, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So where it becomes, in fact, if I go back a little bit, this is quite a good example. What you've got as you come along here, there are quite often cars parked along the road like this. Once again, you're coming up to the no entry, and because perhaps you're thinking more about the parked cars, you tend to come up and approach, and this road's quite narrow, so again, just make sure that there's no one coming towards you. Just like the train station, you've got this right turn, but got to make sure that you give way to people. Camera's gone beep. Right, so what else we got? Those are your main bits. If you're going, let's have a look at a route. Let's look at what you should do. So if you're coming from Huntingdon to Kettering to have a look round, where should you go? Well, let's say you want to spend about an hour driving round. My suggestion would be to begin at the far end and work your way back through. So if you carry on past the Kettering signs and follow Corby and Stamford A43, then you get to do the junctions. You get to do the junction that I talked about at the beginning, and then follow signs into Kettering, which is that roundabout that goes from 1 lane wide to 4. Then, as you come down the main road, follow signs for the hospital, which will bring you down Northfield Avenue, and then from there follow signs for the train station, and that will bring you up to the double roundabout. If I zoom in a little bit on the main bit, so you're following signs for the train station, can bring you up, and you can do that that bit with the no entry that I covered a couple of minutes ago. Then once you've turned right up there, at the end of the road, turn left. Actually no, at the end of the road there's a crossroads. Go straight ahead and go along Broadway, and then turn left at the end for London Road, and then follow signs for the hospital again. And the hospital signs will bring you up along down a new section of road down here, back down to the double roundabout, turn right at it towards the hospital, and then follow signs for Wadcroft parking. So that will be it'll be right at the next mini roundabout, which is so worn that you can barely see it. Up round the one-way system that I talked about a couple of minutes ago, turn right at the end, go up, and then follow the road round, and it will bring you past Morrison's. You go to the end of the road, go left, go down Lower Street, and then come down to the roundabout, go straight ahead at the roundabout towards the hospital, and then as you come up straight ahead at the roundabout after the hospital, and then just at the top here there's a crematorium on the right, and you want to come down Gypsy Lane on the left. Follow that road all the way down, turn left at the end, mind for the speed camera van here that's here pretty regularly, and then left at the end, down, and that brings you to the double roundabout, doing the city centre route. So you can then go straight ahead at it, back up the hill, and then you've managed to do it from all the complicated ways. From the train station towards the other one, it's pretty straightforward. It puts you in the right hand lane to go straight ahead. It's not something that I've really had anybody struggle with, but you can certainly go round and practice that if you want to. Follow the road round, and then I would follow the road round to the right and follow signs for Wellingborough, which will bring you down London Road, and then keep following signs for Wellingborough, coming around and that will bring you round to the test centre, where you can turn right, fourth exit, and you can have a go going down to the test centre along the bottom here. Let's bring that up. From that, I would then turn around in this little industrial estate where the test centre is, come back and turn left and go back up into town. There'll be a little bit of a faff there, but those roundabouts are quite busy, so it's worth having a little go at them, then coming back up London Road and following signs for Corby and Stamford A43. So that will take you right down St Mary's Road and along left up Windmill Avenue. So you're just coming up to various roundabouts, and then it will take you off to the right along Stamford Road. Now, if you were to get that way on the independent drive, they would carry on up towards Weekly roundabout here. You get told to use the right hand lane to go straight ahead on this one, but again, it's not overly difficult there. Perhaps the best thing to do instead would be, as you come along Stamford Road, you can see a load of houses on the right, and turn right and come back in along the road that runs alongside it, and come out at the end here in this little wiggle road, because just at the end here it's quite tight. They come out this way on the tests, and so you've got to go round this tight little right, and then go left at the end. But it doesn't really show it on the map, but it's got quite an incline to it. And then somewhere from there, carry on along. It is worth noting, actually I've gone too far, if you come this way, you'll be asked to follow signs. There's the junction, so that's fine. You'll be asked to follow signs for Wicksteed Park, other routes from Wicksteed Park, or possibly you could also go for the town centre, but the sign's really easy to miss because it's conveniently got a speed bump sign right in front of it. I have had someone fail their test here because they're told to head for other routes than Wixty Park. The little bump means that there is an exit prior to that one. They came up to the roundabout and they indicated left, but because they indicated left as they were entering the roundabout, and it's not the most obvious. I need to go back to there. It's a little side road here that's only visible for the last couple of car lengths as you come up to the roundabout. Excuse me. You're going off where the blue van is, and where this car is here, but she indicated left, entered the roundabout, still indicating left, and failed for that. So it's worth making sure that you cancel your indicator. If you have indicated left, make sure you cancel the indicator before you enter the roundabout. So it's left lane for going this way, right hand lane for going off that way to the town centre. So because you come from that direction, you've done a lot down there, so worth having a look at it, but have a look at going right and going off, sort of following signs for the town centre, and then you'll follow, if I come back to the map, you'll then follow the ring road. So that is, you're coming down here, and now you'll follow this ring road along and around. It's worth following it around, so you follow other route, or no, follow the town centre, because as you go around here, no, I'm wrong. You can only go left round there. So carry on round this road. Now at this junction, you'll be asked to follow signs for other routes if you go that way. It's not. There's the right place down here. Didn't quite get that right. Here we go. So you'll follow the one way round. You can see all routes on the sign there to the left. You've got the bike lane there, so make sure if your lights are red, you're not just sat in the bike lane. Again, it's broken, so it's not the end of the world unless a bike wants to come past you. You'll be going round to the left. As you go round, you can see a red traffic light here, and since that picture was taken, they've put a great big tube on it, because lots of people go round the corner, see that red light and stop, but that red light is the repeater for the junction over here. It's for that traffic, it's not for you, so you want to make sure you don't accidentally get caught out by that. I haven't had anybody do it on their test, but I have had it pretty regularly on lessons. And then as you carry on along the road, you can head for the hospital again. So this is going to bring you to the top where the double roundabout is. So you're heading for Northampton, the Midlands, and it's signposted for the hospital on the second sign. And here you've got, along earlier I told you to come up and go Corby Stamford A43, which is the box junction just further up. So here it's really just a reminder where people sometimes get confused is to forget that in a box junction you're allowed to enter it if you're turning right and the road you're going into hasn't got a big traffic jam in it, as long as there's room for you in there and it's just the oncoming people. And when you come up to this, you will get oncoming traffic. Let's just make sure you remember that you can wait in the middle. Don't sit back at the line, because again, if you sit back at the line waiting there until it's clear and then the lights turn red, you'll fail for that because you haven't put the car in the correct place.